Are you ready, Roger? I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Cool. Now, a year ago, I made a video about this guy back here. Out the way, Roger. My Dan Pays Fats replica. And at the end of that video, I said that I wanted to make another video about the voice of the movie Fats. Did you? I did. And talk about the possible question of who had provided it. Really? Yes. And well, I think I even said the word controversy. Well, yes, probably a bit too strong of a word to have used, really, I think, in hindsight. Maybe confusion would have been better. Yes, I think so. Anyway, since that time, I have been discussing this confusion with some friends of mine. And, well, here's our collective thoughts about it. Yes, so at the end of the film, right after Peggy Ann Snow is about to receive a bit of bad news, basically, let's see, we get to the end credits, and what do we read? We read Corky, Anthony Hopkins, and then a few lines down as a separate credit, Fats, Anthony Hopkins. What a talented guy. Exactly. So, now reading a biography on Anthony Hopkins, I learned that Hopkins had based his voice on the American comic Don Rickles. Oh, really? He wanted that same kind of rhythm and kind of basically a raspy, tough guy patter. So if you listen to Don Rickles' stand-up routine on the album, funnily enough called Hello Dummy, you can certainly hear what Hopkins was trying to get at, particularly when Don Rickles goes into this high-pitched squeal almost, and well, it's not too far off Fats' voice, to be honest with you. So that was insightful. Yes, I think it was. Now, in the same biography by Quentin Falk, I first heard about the ventriloquist Dennis Alwood. Oh, yes. And how it was Dennis Alwood who was the film's ventriloquist expert, who then taught Anthony Hopkins the skills needed to be a ventriloquist for the movie. Now, Dennis Alwood is also the host of this wonderful documentary called Fats and Friends, where he begins by telling us something about the history of ventriloquism before sort of going into his own sort of ventriloquist background, and then talking about dummy-themed movies, and then of course onto the movie Magic itself. And then we get to see and hear Fats. And we were like, what? Yeah, we were like, what? Yes, so away from the movie, it did sound just like Fats. And Alwood then goes on to explain how he worked on the movie, manipulating Fats, working Fats, but always hidden from view, obviously. You know. Yes, that would be so. Yes, that would take some explaining. Oh, hi, Peggy, this is my friend. Do you mind if he just tags along? Yeah. So yes, that didn't happen. So if you remember the scene where Fats is sitting in the chalet and Corky's nowhere near him, but yet Fats moves his eyes. Well, that's Dennis Alwood doing that, and they left it in the movie, which was great. Now, it may just be me, probably, but it got me thinking that is there an implication here that Dennis Alwood also provided the voice of Fats too? Yes, even though in the documentary Alwood never states that to be a fact. So my friends and I were discussing this perhaps self-inflicted confusion, and we were wondering just how these two talents of actor and ventriloquist might have worked together, especially if Alwood was also providing the voice of Fats. Yeah. So one hypothesis that we banded around, and seemed to sort of make most sense, at least in my mind, was that Anthony Hopkins had recorded his lines as Fats in post-sync. And there's obviously some post-syncing going on in that film, as in any film, but that he did so over an Alwood's on-camera Fats. But then a friend of mine said to me, you know what, there's no way they would have risked giving a voice to the dummy that was going to be so different to the lead actor, particularly in the most important scenes, as the voice defines the character that Hopkins plays. His relationship to the dummy, the audience, and also it gives a window into the character's mental state. So enter expert voice analyst Rita Singh. What are you doing? I'm just seeing where she is. No one there. She was simply contacted to ask for her opinion. Now, voice analysing is a scientific and time-consuming process. So Rita Singh concentrated her efforts on one specific scene. Now, this is the scene where Ben Green turns up at Corky's chalet and Corky is arguing with Fats. It's a scene just before Ben Green tells Corky to shut Fats up for 5 minutes. He fails. Yeah, well, okay, spoiler. A bit too late now. So yes, so here is her verdict. Do you have it? It's in there. Okay. So she wrote that after analysing the scene, she says, the guy who's making the bed, etc., that's Hopkins, and talking to the dummy at the same time in the video is the one who did the voice of the dummy. The two voices are from the same person. So Hopkins is doing the voice of Fats in that scene. So to be clear, we're speaking only of that one scene. And you can go away and have fun watching the movie and listening out for Fats's voice to change, if indeed it does. I can hear a cadence, if that's the right word, in Hopkins' voice that is present also in Fats's. But the reason why I think I went into it like this was because I am never 100% sure. And I think that's largely down to the fact that I just want to sit back and enjoy the film, and whoever sort of ends up doing the voice for Fats is, it's not a necessity for my enjoyment of the film. So what do you see? Thank you for listening to this ramble. Thanks to my researching friends, and thank you to Rita Singh for giving us your time and expertise and helping to shed some light on this matter. Yes. Thank you all very much, and have a nice day. And as Roger says, have a nice day. How was that, Fats? Fantastic! It sounded nothing like him.